Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, gratefully recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means, share it with anybody you think might get something out of it. Other than that, how we all doing today, guys? Beautiful weather today here in Boston, and it was a beautiful day. Very busy day. I've had to move a lot of stuff around this week because I'm taking a class on Wednesday and Thursday, and it's a full day, literally. 7:30 in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, can't leave the building, class, and I'm busy, and I get busier and busier. So I really had to, book a lot tighter than I normally would. So today ended up being a very busy day, but it was a great day. Things went amazingly well, and again, when I know these things, I prepare for them. I try to make sure I have the stock. So when I go to the depot in the morning, I look at my day and I'll buy a ton of extra stuff so that it saves me an hour driving back and forth during the day when possible. I was installing some appliances that's going to carry over till tomorrow, and that's fine because the granite guys didn't finish and they were there late, so I had a little lull in the middle, and I was going to help a friend out take care of something at his house. So I called him, and he was getting out of work, picked him up, shot by his place, was able to help a friend out in the middle of my busy day. Made a lot of money today, had a fantastic day, beautiful weather. And it's days like this to just give me confidence of showing me like how much more capable I am, because I work my program and I practice these principles in all my affairs. And because I've learned to take an inventory and pay attention to everything that's going on, I without putting a definition on what's going to happen tomorrow, or putting my spin on it, I just look at it, at the way things are going, the way they've progressed so far, and guys, I'm thrilled. Like, I'm stepping into new territory, and again, just like I challenged myself at the beginning of the year, I'm like, as good as last year was, I don't want to plateau. I want to keep this going, reach my potential, and keep trying to do better, and that's the key, guys. Things are ramping up constantly because I'm paying attention, seeing what opportunities are in front of me, and I'm going out of my way to go after them. And it's not easy. I work hard, and like today, I push myself hard. I'm going to push myself hard again tomorrow, and I get Wednesday and Thursday will be a more relaxed pace because that class isn't as excruciating. But I see the opportunities in front of me. So again, I psych myself up. I make sure I'm prepared, and I get up in the morning and I attack the day with a gratitude, because I am. And I mean, when I sit back and think where I was, would I believe that any of this was possible? And I'm like, no, at the time I didn't. Now I believe everything is possible, and then because I'm in line with my higher power, that things are going to be amazing. I don't know what the future is going to hold, but I know it's going to be beautiful because I'm going to keep doing the work, and I'm trying to get closer and closer to God every day. And I've seen the results in my life. The more God-centered I become, the better my life gets, and the better my situation gets. So I constantly look for God-centeredness, and that just happens to be the title of the Just for Today Any Meditation reading. So let's get into it, and we'll talk about it like we always do, guys. God-centeredness. Gradually, as we become more God-centered than self-centered, our despair turns to hope. What a glorious thing to have hope. And I tell you what, it absolutely is, guys. I remember back to my hopeless days, and it is so much nicer to have hope. So I'm going to start again. What a glorious thing to have hope. Before coming to recovery, many of us lived lives of utter hopelessness. I did. We believed we were destined to die from our disease. Well, if you don't get into recovery, we all are. Many members speak of being on a pink cloud in the first few months in the program, and that's funny. We've stopped using, we've made some friends, and life looks promising. Things are going great. And then reality sets in. Life is still life after all. We lose jobs, our partners still leave us, friends still die, we still get sick. Abstinence from drugs is no guarantee that life is always going to go our way. When the reality of life on its own terms sets in, we turn to our higher power and remember that life happens the way it happens. No matter what happens in our recovery, we need not despair, for there is always hope. That hope lies in our relationship with our higher power. This relationship, as expressed in our text in the beginning, develops over time. Gradually, we become more God-centered. And if we're doing our program right, we will. As we rely more and more on the strength of our higher power, life's struggles don't have to drag us into despair. As we focus more on God, we focus less on ourselves. And the affirmation is just for today: I will rely on my higher power. I will accept that regardless of what happens, my higher power will provide me with the resources I need to live with it. And that's it, guys. Just because we're in recovery, and even me, I feel like I'm the most best blessed person on the planet. I still understand shit happens. Like all that stuff I've been talking about, or really talking about, because I don't bring other people's business into, other than in generalities. The stuff going on with my buddy Doug, and he loves his dad, and they're both my two of my best friends. That blew up in a way today that I saw coming, but I was trying to avoid letting it happen, and I did the best I could. And it blew up today. They're currently not on speaking terms. They were going off on each other. I was in the middle listening to it for an hour on the phone. Doug going to the point where we went and had a couple of margaritas, and now he's got the alcohol and firing him up. And I get that. And you know what? None of it was directed at me because I work hard. I rise above. And they all know, even as mad as they are with each other, I'm the liaison. They don't shoot the messenger. And in the past, that wouldn't be the case. But I know I can do that today because, guys, I've become so God-centered that I see that I have the power to change outcomes with kindness. And I live that every day. And this was a perfect example. As crazy as that is, I had no fear. In the past, I'd be like, oh, freaking out. I don't want to be in the middle. They're going to direct it at me. No, I know they won't. And even Doug, as fired up as he wanted so badly to tell me, don't go work for my father. And he knows that that's not possible. I'm going to go work for his dad. And he just said, oh, if I'm not going to tell you to go help him out, but if he calls and hires you, I'm not going to say you can't. And I'm like, I know you're not, Doug, because tomorrow you can be back to loving him, and you're just angry. You're just venting. That's okay. And I see that today, and it just, boom, water off my back. It didn't ruin my day. I had a fantastic day. One thing I was really happy about, I made my business cards early on last year, and I didn't know what I was doing, and they didn't come out great. As simple as that. The guy helping me at Staples just, he didn't care, and I was relying on him to kind of tell me whether it made sense or not. And they just didn't. Doug had let me know that from day one. But I'm like, well, whatever, the business cards. I'm going more on reputation. I'm not worried about it, right? But somebody at a meeting last week had asked me for a card, and as I handed one over, I'm like, ooh, really meaning to go get new business cards. So while I was waiting for my buddy to get out of work today, I had 20 minutes to kill. I stopped at Staples, designed some beautiful business cards, and I got my cards today, and I'm thrilled. I'm so happy I did. Small thing. But even in the midst of chaos, I can still see and get things done because I don't get overwhelmed in it because I rely on God. And I know God has given me an ability to rise above, to overcome, to take things in stride. And He shields me because I work His will for me. People see that and they know, like, I'm not out to get anybody. I'm the voice of reason. I'm the one they all come to rely on. So even when they're in the midst of a freak out, they still don't aim it at me. And I'm able to be there and not be afraid of it. And that's just one of a million such situations. Everything I have in this recovery is a direct result of my relationship with God. And the biggest reason and again, some people always, and I love when people say this. I'm not arguing with anybody, but people, I've even seen comments on the channel, well, stop giving away all your credit. You take credit for what you did. Thank you. I do. I worked very hard. I made a lot of very good decisions. But again, that wasn't my baseline, and this is why I put everything out here like this. I accept full credit for the great work that I've done. I'm incredibly proud of myself. It's why I'm so happy, and it's why I'm succeeding, and it's why I'm able to say that I love the person I'm becoming. I didn't know how to get there, guys. I didn't even know how to get to this program in the beginning. I got there through prayer and meditation, by praying constantly, and then paying attention to the answers that were being sent to me. All these things, and again, I sit there and say it. I know it sounds so oversimplified or even just so obvious, but they weren't to me, guys. Even when I pray, I would always doing things going through the motions. When you're just going through the motions, if that's what you have to do to get yourself to start doing something, then do so. But as you start doing things, guys, put intention behind everything. And I say that for myself because I never did that in life, and nothing ever mattered. So I didn't put any real extra emphasis or effort into anything. I live with intention today. I must have said that 100,000 times in these videos. It's probably an exaggeration, but I've said that quite a bit. And it makes all the difference. And remember, I'm as much talking to myself. As a matter of fact, when I record these videos, I love other people to get stuff out of it. That's a big part of it. But I'm sitting there looking at myself on my phone, telling myself these things, and reminding myself of what I'm doing. And this is almost part of my daily inventory, is doing this as well. Hoping so much that other people will adopt it, because I see the power of it firsthand. Like all the relationships that I have today, so even the people in recovery that I knew on the fringe, the people that are part of my either main family who I pretty much run away from when I was using, or even my work family. It's so different today. I'm looked at so much differently today. I've surpassed everything I never could before. I'm invited today. As a matter of fact, it was fantastic. I touched briefly about, I got another contract. Somebody called last week. I thought it was somebody else. I answered them talking after the first couple sentences. I'm like, wait a minute, who am I talking to? I thought it was an existing customer of mine, and it was actually a building manager who thought he was calling my former boss. And when people wouldn't get through on the main line, they'd always look for the secondary numbers, and mine was always there with the company. And this happened a lot in the early days, but it hasn't happened in a while, because I've been on my own for a while. And I'm like, no, John, Jesus, I'm not working for that company anymore. I'm on my own. I'm working for myself. And he's like, oh my God, good for you. He said, what are you doing? And I told him. He goes, well, can I make an appointment with you for Monday? And I said, as long as you know. He's like, no, absolutely. He's like, I really was calling your number first because I wanted you to come over because you did the best work. And if you do it for yourself, that's even better. So I was able to go there today. And I haven't seen this guy in longer than I've been clean. I walked in the office and the guy was like, oh my Lord, what have you done? Like, guys, I was a raging, ragged, beat up junkie last time I saw him. And even then I did decent work and repressed him. I walked in there today, 220 pounds, clear, professional, just the best version of me. And the guy was blown away. And he was so apt to start changing all the paperwork, and he, was thrilled and let me know that he's going to use me and wants to offer me work from other places he knows. Like, this is the thing. In the past, even if I was working with the old boss, yeah, he would have been happy with my work, but nothing extra would have come of it. But all this extra work I'm doing invites extra things into my life. And that's the power of having God, being God-centered. I didn't go in there looking to get over. I went in there very humble, just asking to make sure I had all the information so I could do the best job I could. Because especially with that, first job I'm doing in my own business, I want to make sure I do a great job. Further, I no sooner left that job, and I went to my second job of the day, and this is the one that canceled Saturday. Very finicky tenants of another customer of mine. And again, it's always Doug that calls me and says, oh, only you get calls from tenants saying how great you are. Well, Al and Gina had called me on Saturday letting me know they had to reschedule for Monday, and they're like, listen, I'm so sorry, these tenants are really tough, and please don't be upset. And I'm like, no, it's no big deal. Like, it's Monday. I'm not worried about it. Well, they called me. As a matter of fact, I called them at lunch or at 11:30 just to let them know the job was done, as I always do. And Gina's like, "Oh, we'll be down in an hour to come pay." And I'm like, "Gina, I'm not worried. Like, fine. I just wanted to let you guys know it went well. It's done." She goes, "No, Pat, you don't understand. They already called us and told us that." And I'm like, "Okay, good." And as crazy as they are and as tough as they are, they made it a point of calling to say, "Hey, that guy's amazing. He's so pleasant and does such a nice job. We just wanted to call and let you guys know you've got a great guy coming over, and we feel very comfortable with him in the house." Again, the biggest, craziest people I have, the people I expect most likely to complain, I go in there and I'm just myself. I'm not blowing smoke up their ass. I just go in and be myself and try to be professional and try to see things from their point of view. And I know they're working from home, so I'm like, listen, nope, I'm fine. The only thing I did extra was I set the clock for them on the stove. And they're calling the customer to let them know that I was exceptional. Because of my kind attitude, because I'm God-centered. I try to understand people's point of view. Instead of before, my only concern was how quick I could get it done so I could get a buck and go see the drug dealer. I don't live that way today, guys. I live God-centered, right? And again, as I talked in yesterday's video, the more God-centered I've gotten, I've come to see that when I'm just looking for my higher self, because I am an extension of my source, God. So as long as I'm just doing things from what I call my higher self, my the best version of me perspective, that tends to be God's will. So again, when I'm at the grocery store yesterday and I realized there's a girl asking, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I feel like giving her money. God's will, because she must have needed it. I don't have to know the story. And again, these are, maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? But they seem to work overall. I could be wrong in any one, example, but the situation speaks for itself. Guys, I'm living a life I never dreamed of. Not that it's glamorous and not that it's, but it's possible. It's successful. It's full of opportunity. It's full of relationships. I'm noticing the attention I get when I go more in places today because I am more proud of myself. And when you're proud of yourself, you exude a confidence from just knowing you're doing good things. I used to walk around hiding before because I always had so many things to hide, and I didn't want the light on me. Not that I'm showboaty today, but I'm proud of myself, and I try to be I live recovery out loud to A, encourage others, and B, I want people to feel open because I've seen the difference. When I look grumpy and when I look happy, people are much more apt to feel comfortable, and that matters to me today. Before, maybe in some warped way, I probably wanted to seem intimidating because I was insecure at 140 pounds. I know I wasn't very intimidating. That's the last thing I want to be today. Now I'm 220 and I'm trying to be as kind and gentle as possible because I want to interact with people. I want to engage with people. I honestly want to know about the people I'm working with, and I want them to know about me, and I want to be comfortable and build relationships. These are not things that were my baseline. That's God-centeredness. That's God working in my life. And it gets easier. It gets to be easier and easier to see what it is. And again, not only to see His from my former will, but my will and God's will emerging. And it tells me I'm progressing beautifully. I'm on the fast track, as I've said, guys. I said it in my earlier videos. I was so blown away by what was happening in my life. I'm like, I feel like I've cracked the code. And now I see, yes, I have. It's called God-centeredness. That's the code. Live God-centered. Live from your higher self. Do a little bit extra every day towards something good in your life. And before long, guys, nothing happens overnight. Nothing comes for free, and nothing goes without effort. But we're out there making effort every day. We're out there. Think of the effort you expanded, wasting everything on drugs. Put a little bit of effort into recovery and just watch it bloom and explode and just turn into something absolutely shockingly good. I'm telling you guys, it works. It's amazing. You are worth it. Please, guys, God-centered is the way to live. Again, whatever you call yours, I call my higher power God, whatever you call yours. But be aligned with your higher power. Be intentional with your acts. Put your recovery first and everything else will fall into place. It's something I never understood. I always thought if I got the shiny trinkets and I got the job, and then recovery would be sustained. No. Put recovery first. Make recovery number one, and everything else will sustain and it will fall into place. And if you're God-centered, if you're aligned with your higher power, they'll happen in the most synchronistic way you can't even begin to imagine. Because that's what I see constantly, and that's how I know now that it's God's will for me. Because all of a sudden it has something to do with something I need, but it also satisfies 4 other requirements, and they all just boom fall into place. And I know I'm right where I gotta be. Because I feel like another miracle just popped off in my life, and it happens daily. Every day I wake up clean, I'm a miracle. Every day you wake up clean, you're a miracle. So understand that you are a miracle. You're an extension of your source, and you are loved by God. And go out and act like it. You'll make a difference in your community. You'll feel amazing about yourself. Guys, that's the video for today. Thank you so very much for being here with me. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one.